the chart and the screener. The 20-day and 50-day moving average crossover, buy or sell signal. In this module, we will be creating a simple trading system in Ami Broker. Whenever the 20-day crosses above the 50-day moving average, a buy arrow will show up. When it crosses below, a sell arrow will show up. We will also make a screener based on these rules. Buy and sell signals on the chart. So let's start with a blank chart. Let's remove the previous code that we typed, just leaving the basic price chart code. So save. Let's remove this one. Okay. So let's plot the 20-day and 50-day moving average using a code. So first, let's get the value of the 20-day moving average. Then the 50-day moving average. Then we plot this one. There. Click on save, and the 20-day and the 50-day moving average will show up. So what we want to do is we want to have a buy signal when the 20-day moving average is above the 50-day moving average. So translating the above condition to code is simply when the 20-day moving average is greater than the 50-day moving average, or MA20 is greater than MA50, which we can place in a buy variable. So buy is equal to MA20 is greater than MA50. Buy is equal to MA20 is greater than 50. So sell is equal to MA50 is greater than MA20. There. So relational operators. Relational operators checks the relationship between two operands. If the relation is true, it will return a value of 1. If false, it will return the value of 0. So this one is used to compare two values. So operator, the double equal sign, it means equal to 1 equal to 2 returns 0 because 1 is not equal to 2. Greater than. So 2 is greater than 1, returns 1 since 2 is greater than 1. Less than. 4 is less than 5, returns 1. Not equal to 1. So the not equal to is exclamation point equal sign. So 1 is not equal to 3. It would return 1. So we could also combine the greater than and equal to sign. So 5 is greater than or equal to 2 would return true. Less than or equal to 5 is less than or equal to 5 would also return 1. Now, an important part to remember is when we use the single equal sign, it means that we are assigning the value. So like what we're using here, buy is equal to MA20 is greater than MA50. The single equal sign means that the value generated by this one would be transferred to the buy variable. If we change this to a double equal sign, this will not work. The value here is being compared with the value here. Always make sure when you're coding, you properly use the single equal sign when you're assigning a variable and the double equal sign when you're comparing it. So if we do this, the buy variable would get a value of true if the MA20 is equal to MA50. But for example, we just want the MA20 is greater than the MA50. The plot shapes function is used to draw shapes on the chart, like arrows, squares, circles, digits. So for us to use this, we just type plot shapes, then shape, and these are the available options. So let's fill this up. So plot shapes, shape, up arrow, color green. There. So this is the most basic way to use the plot shapes function. Let's save it. Let's make this bright green. So you can see now, you can see that it shows up on every single candlestick. The IIF function. The IIF function is used when we want to add a condition and output a specific value if the condition proves to be true or false. In what we are currently doing, we want to be able to show the green arrows on all candles, but what if we want to only show the green arrow when a buy condition has been met? We can use this null if we don't want to enter anything in the false part. It means nothing. So let's modify the code. So now you can see that the arrows are displayed in all of the candlesticks, but we only want it to show up when the MA20 is greater than the MA50. So what we do is, let's add the IIF function. So IIF, the condition, so we only want it to show when there is a buy signal. If it's true, we draw a shape, an up arrow. And if it's false, it will draw nothing. So click on save. As you can see, when the MA20 is above the MA50, there are green arrows. But when the MA50 is above the MA20, there are no arrows. So let's just repeat this one. Instead of this, we want to replace the condition. So cell, then shape down arrow, then let's make it color pink. Click on save. There. So now you can see all up arrows are shown when the MA20 is greater than the MA50. All down arrows are shown once the MA50 is above the MA20. So what if we want to only show only one arrow and we want to remove the other arrows? The xrem function is used to remove repetitive buy signals, so only one buy or sell signals will show up. It will only show up a buy signal after a sell signal and a sell signal only after a buy signal. So when we use the xrem function, only one green arrow and one red arrow will show up for every time the moving average changes. After entering the xrem function, we can now see that the other arrows are removed. So let's enter the xrem. So let's create a new buy condition, buy xrem. So we want the buy signal only when there is a sell signal, and a sell signal when there is a buy signal. So this one, the buy signal, modifies the previous buy condition. So let's click on save. There. So as you can see, whenever there's a crossover going down, you could see one pink sell arrow, and when it's going up, you can see one green arrow. Now we can see another problem. The red arrow is clear, but the green arrow, it's kind of hard to find since it's overlapping with the candlestick. So we have to use the additional optional arguments of the plot shapes. So let's edit this one. So layer, we just use the default 0. Now this is important, the Y position. So for our example, let's say we wanted ours drawn at the same level as the 20 moving average. So we have to enter MA20, which is our variable, which holds the value in the Y position argument. So the Y position is where the arrow will be drawn. So the Y position is basically the price. So for us, we wanted to show at the same position of the MA20. So when we change it to MA20 and click save, it will show up at this level. So for our sell signal, that's also placed MA20. There. So now you can see. I made a mistake. So first is the layer 0, then MA20. So there you can see the arrows are now being shown at the levels of the 20-day moving average. We can try the experiment now. Let's say we wanted to show at the 18 price level. We just change it to 18. And it will, the buy and sell signal will show specifically at this line. There. So let's bring it back to MA20.